The palace corridors were quieter than ever, yet tension thickened the air like an approach. Whispers ran through the ancient halls of Buckingham, echoing the name of one woman. For years, the public saw her as the composed Duchess, the elegant future Queen, the silent shadow behind the noise of royals. But that image was about to shatter. Hidden beneath the polished smile was a mind meticulously plotting a counterstrike, one that would shake the very foundations of Meghan Markle's carefully built empire. It began with a file. Not just any file, but a classified dossier buried deep within the royal. Within it lay a series of communications, private correspondences, financial transfers, and damning records tied to Meghan's ambitious climb within the royal circle and her explosive retreat with Prince Harry. For months, Kate had remained silent, watching as Meghan and Harry unleashed documentaries, interviews, and tell-all books that painted the monarchy as a cold, oppressed. Kate was often portrayed as cold-hearted, complicit, even cruel. But what no one knew was that she had been collecting evidence, piece by piece, documenting the cracks in Meghan's carefully cured. When the file surfaced, Kate didn't flinch. She knew timing was everything. The Netflix contract, the podcast deals, the memoir royalties, all formed the pillars of Meghan's new empire across the Atlantic. An empire built on scandal sells well, but it also stands on fragile ground. One well-placed truth could turn applause into outrage. Kate's strategy wasn't to speak, it was to release, strategically, lethally, like a surgeon making a single, perfect incision. The file contained emails suggesting Meghan had planned her victim narrative long before leaving the palace, notes from private strategy meetings with her PR team, and most shockingly, financial documents revealing how certain charitable donations were funneled through obscure channels to finance personal. These were not just allegations, they were a blueprint of manipulation, wrapped in the language of compassion and activism. As the night fell over Kensington Palace, Kate sat in her private study, a single lamp illuminating her poised face. In her hands, the sealed envelope, the first leak, ready to be sent to a discreet journalist known for unmasking powerful figures. Her heart was steady, her mind calm. This wasn't revenge born of rage, it was a reclamation of dignity, a strike for the monarchy. For too long, Meghan had controlled the narrative. Now, the scales would tip. When the news broke, the world headlines erupted, leaked files reveal Meghan's hidden agenda. Commentators dissected every page, every number, every time. Social media became a battlefield. Hashtags like #Meghan exposed and #Kate strikes back trended within hours. The Sussex camp issued frantic denials, calling the leaks forgeries and desperate royal propaganda, but the evidence was too detailed, too intricate. Harry, torn between loyalty to his wife and the thunderous silence of his brother William, found himself. He had believed in the empire they built together, believed in the authenticity of their mission to tell their truth. Now, that truth was under siege. Meghan, usually the master of media warfare, scrambled for damage control. Advisors urged her to release counter documents, to stage an emotional interview, to cry before but the public mood had shifted. This was not a tabloid rumor, it was documented. Behind closed doors, Kate remained composed. She did not gloat, her moves were deliberate and controlled, each release calibrated to erode public trust in Meghan's empire without staining her own hands with William, once hesitant to engage in the media mudslinging his brother had embraced, now stood silently supportive, his trust in Kate's strategy. The second wave hit harder, recordings from private palace meetings where Meghan allegedly manipulated schedules to outshine senior royals, complaints from former staff who spoke of coercion, and confidential memos where she outlined plans to secure lucrative deals even before officially. The narrative was no longer about a couple victimized by the crown, it was about an actress who turned the palace into a stepping stone for global celebrity. Meghan fought back. Emergency meetings with lawyers were held. A lawsuit was drafted against unknown royal leakers. Friends from Hollywood rallied to her side, painting her as the target of a jealous establishment unwilling to let a strong woman succeed. But even their voices trembled under the weight of the leaks. Each new revelation matched dates, places, bank record. The empire cracked. Meanwhile, Kate's public image soared. Photographed attending charity events with quiet grace, seen supporting the king during his fragile health, she embodied the contrast, restraint versus chaos, duty versus self-interest. Rumors swirled that the Queen herself had authorized the strategic release, but insiders whispered a different tale. It was Kate's private operation, Her quiet revenge after years of being cast as the villainous. The crescendo came when the final set of documents surfaced, a secret agreement Meghan had drafted for post-divorce settlement contingencies, hinting she had foreseen a split from Harry even before their wedding anniversary. The revelation was nuclear. Public sympathy plummeted. Investors quietly withdrew interest in new Meghan brand. Streaming giants reconsidered upcoming projects. For the first time since the Oprah interview, Meghan was on the defensive, her empire flickering. Harry's face on the night the final leak aired told the story of a man broken between two worlds. To stand by Meghan meant alienating the only family left who still held the keys to his royal birthright. To walk away would destroy the foundation of their public mission. Kate had not only exposed Meghan, she had forced Harry into the same cage of choice Meghan once claimed to escape. And so, the palace war entered a new phase, not with screaming matches or public brawls, but with silence that cuts deeper than words. Kate had played the long game, and for now, she had won. Meghan, once the master storyteller, found herself rewritten in someone else's script, the antagonist in a royal thriller where the quiet duchess became the shadowy victor. But this was no ending, this was Act 2. For every empire that crumbles, a counterstrike is. Meghan's team was already planning their retaliation, whispering about a memoir sequel, a truth unfiltered, a potential court case to force the palace. Kate, however, had sent her message clearly. She was no longer the quiet figure in the background. She was the strategist, the protector of the crown's image, and the woman who would stop at nothing to restore balance to a monarchy torn by mod. The world watched, captivated, as two duchesses turned the royal stage into a battlefield of secrets and power play. Each move was calculated, each revelation a blade in the dark. And as the cameras flashed outside the palace gates, one truth remained undeniable: the revenge of a woman scorned is not loud, it is lethal, and it is unforgettable.